Hello everyone, welcome again. Today I'm going to solve OWASP API Security Top 10 Part 2, and there will be two parts for it. Let's make a quick start. Here I will use our attack box again, and actually we will use our virtual machine, and you can start from here if you use TryHackMe. Vulnerability 6 Mass Assignment. How does it happen? Mass assignment reflects a scenario where client-side data is automatically bound with server-side objects or class variables. However, hackers exploit the feature by first understanding the application's business logic and sending specially crafted data to the server, acquiring administrative access or inserting tempered data. This functionality is widely exploited in the latest frameworks like Laravel, Code, Igniter, and etc. Consider a user's profiles dashboard where users can update their profile like associated email, name, address, and etc. The username of the user is a read-only attribute and cannot be changed. However, a malicious actor can edit the username and submit the form. If necessary filtration is not enabled on the server-side model, it will simply insert or update the data in the database. Likely impact: the attack may result in data tampering and privilege escalation from a regular user to an administrator. And practical example here, again we will have an API and we will test our OWASP rules from here. Bob has been assigned to develop a sign-up API endpoint API rule 6 user that will take a name, username, and password as input parameters, and our method will be post method, because if you want to send some information or send some data to the server, it would be better if we use post method because it is safer than get method. That's why we use post method. Anyway, the users table has a credit column with a default value of 50. Users will upgrade their membership to have a larger credit value. Bob has successfully designed the form and used the mass assignment feature in Laravel to store all the incoming data from the client side to the database. Let's go there. API rule 6 user, but first I have to modify my address like that, and our API rule will be API rule 6 and it is user ID, and our method will be post, and let's add some parameters, some data here: name, username, password, credit. Okay, and name will be Bob and it will be text. Let's add another one and it will be email and it will be username Bob. Okay, username Bob. And this one, let's add another one, and here we will add some password here, and I think it doesn't has to be correct. Actually it kinda has to be. So let's try to type it correctly here, but of course because of keyboard problems we won't be able to do that. Anyway, it's not a problem. Let's continue from here. If it will be necessary, I will do it. Here, as you can see, we have some values here and we are sending them to the server, and server responds to us like that: name Bob, username, and credit is 110 and ID will be 3. It is Bob's ID. What is the problem here? Bob is not doing any filtering on the server side. Since using the mass assignment feature, he is also inserting credit values in the database. Malicious actors can update that value. The solution to the problem is pretty simple. Bob must ensure necessary filtering on the server side. API rule, it is the correct, actually it is the secure one, and ensure that the default value of credit should be inserted as 50 even if more than 50 is received from the client side. And as you can see here, it is localhost 80 and API rule 6 user SS means here, S here means secure. It's an secure API, and as you can see, Bob made the value of credit 110, but there is a default value for credit in the server and it doesn't change. It is not able to change, and as you can see here, the credit is still 50. Mitigation measures, you can read that, and let's read the questions here. Is it a good practice to blindly insert or update user provided data in the database? Of course not. Actually, it is almost general problem with web vulnerabilities. Server takes some input from us, and if it doesn't how can I say, and if it doesn't check them, of course we can manipulate the server and we can do whatever we want. And that's why a server has to check, has to validate the inputs, our inputs. Anyway, okay, using a payroll, this one, insert a record in database using the credit value as 1000, but as you can see, it won't change here because in this API there is a default value for credit and it's not able to change. Okay, so our value will be 50 again. What will be the returned credit value after performing question 2? Of course it will be still 50. So let's move on with task 3. Here, security misconfiguration we have, and let's directly go to the practical example. The company MHT is facing serious server availability issues. Therefore, they assigned Bob to develop an API endpoint, API rule 7 ping v, and it means vulnerable, and our method will be get here, and that will share details regarding server health and status. Bob successfully designed the endpoint, however he forgot to implement any error handling to avoid any information leakage. Here Bob makes we make a GET request to this URL, and server gives us some response with 200 OK response code, and here in the body part we have some actually extra information from the system. It's not necessary. As you can see here, we have data length here, and here Laravel. What was Laravel? It was here. Laravel is a framework, and as you can see, the response from the server gives us the name of the framework which is used. Okay, and here we have another path. Actually, it's the same path. And anyway, what is the issue here? In case of an unsuccessful call, the server sends a complete stack trace in response containing function names, controller, and route information, file path. An attacker can use the information for profiling and preparing specific attacks on the environment. Let's remember the least privilege method or least privilege concept. It exists for users or companies workers, but it has to be for users too, for ours, for clients also. And here clients are us, or we have to have least information about system. Okay, and it is the problem here. We have so much information which is unnecessary for users, but if a hacker see that information, it will be a big problem for company or for server, because there is a process called information gathering for every attack, and with that way we can gather lots of information, but it's unnecessary. Okay, anyway, we can work with the website without these information, so they are unnecessary and we don't have to see that. Anyway, the solution to the issue is pretty simple. Both will create an API endpoint which is secure, that will carry out error handling and only share desired information with the user as shown below. Okay, and now as you can see here, 500 internal server error, it's not successful, and there's a message, and we gave a contact email. That's all. Anyway, is it an excellent approach to show error logs from the stack trace to general visitors? Of course not. I explained that, I believe. Try to use the API call, and in this, okay, what is the HTTP response call? Try to use the API call. Okay, let's go there. API rule 7 ping s, API rule 7 ping secure. Let's make it get, because we won't send any data to the server. And now as you can see, it is 500 internal server error. It's not successful, and there is a message for visitors. It says please contact administrator at support.mhd.com for further queries. Okay. What is the error ID number in the HTTP response message? Error ID number. Here we have an error ID number. It is 1401. Okay. And task 4, which is the last task for part 1, it is injection. How does it happen? Injection attacks are probably among the oldest API web-based attacks and are still being carried out by hackers on real-world applications. Injection flows occur when user input is not filtered and is directly processed by an API, thus enabling the attacker to perform unintended API actions without authorization. An injection may come from structured query language, which means SQL, or operating system commands, extensible markup language, XML, and etc. Nowadays, frameworks offer functionality to protect against this attack through automatic sanitization of data. However, applications built in custom frameworks like Core PHP are still susceptible to such attacks. Likely impact. It's really dangerous actually. Anyway, injection flows may lead to information disclosure, data loss, denial of services, and complete account takeover. Yes, I wanted to talk about too. Complete account takeover. It is possible with injections, guys. Okay. Anyway, the successful injection attacks may also cause the intruders to access the sensitive data or even create new functionality and perform remote code execution. Practical example. A few users of company MHT reported that their account password had changed and they could not further log into their original account. Consequently, the development team found that Bob had developed a vulnerable login API endpoint which is a Pyrrole 8 user login vulnerable that is not filtering user input, and it's a big problem. If you take some inputs from the visitors, from the clients, you have to always filter them, validate them, check them, okay? Because most of the time our inputs directly goes to the server, okay? Anyway, you can here you can think an AVM, shopping store. There is a security, what was that word for, let's say guardian, okay? There is a guardian at the door, and he or she checks our baggage, our wallets, maybe our belts, or our bags, and he searches some things that should not go into the shop, go into the mall, okay? And if he or she doesn't do that, maybe there will be a big crisis in that place. So our servers has to do the same here, okay? And every time, and with big care, okay? Anyway, a malicious attacker requires the username of the target, and for the password they can use the payload. It is an SQL injection attack, as you can see here. These lines works for SQL attacks, okay? And get an authorization key for any account. So let's test it. A Pyrrole 8 user login, a Pyrrole 8 user and login.we, and we have to change our method because we will give some values to the server, and password, username. I will type here simply this query, and I missed something, sorry. It has to be like that, okay? And then username admin, or anything you want, okay? Anything you want, but it has to be a valid username. I mean, it has to be it has to be exist in the database, so we can call them. If a person is not there, we can't call her or him. And you can think like that, okay? Let's send our requests. We have some error here. You have an error in your SQL syntax. Check the manual. That okay? As you can see here, we have probably I didn't type correctly. Yes, but it's interesting, guys, because we have an error here, and it gives us some information. Maybe it will give us some information about the system. And as you can see here, the system use Maria database server. And let's search for another information from this error message. Anyway, it seems that's all. Okay, I will change my payload, but it is a thing that that is important. This error probably exists in application that we make, or that we write some codes, okay, in it, okay? And you can see that errors like that maybe from your console, but it is the developers has to see that, not the visitors. And the visitors, if the visitors see that, of course there will be a big problem for companies or anyone. Anyway, let's type it correctly and send it again. And as you can see, my payload is correct now, and I made a request for admin by my password is an SQL query which bypasses the security preventions. And as you can see, I have an authorization key here. So let's go there. Bob immediately realized his mistake and okay. Now he creates again another one which is safe. And now as you can see, this time in the secure version, it's not successful and you can't see the authorization key. But we have to use this one because there will be some questions about it. And the questions is about this response code. It is 403. It will be better if you get familiar with response codes. They are simple. There is nothing about to avoid them. You can learn them easily. You can take some notes and get familiar with them. Let's read our questions. Can injection attacks be carried out to extract data from database? Yes, of course, yes. And can injection attacks result in remote code execution? Of course, because we can manipulate the server as we wish. Okay, and if we want to make a remote code, or maybe if you want to create a remote code execution, we can do it. We can make an SSH connection, maybe telnet will be open that server too. We can use it too, and that's it. Maybe there will be a command control server for us, and we will create this remote communication like that. What is the HTTP response code? It is 403. Okay, that's all for part 2. I hope part 1 for OWASP API Security Top 10 part 2. I hope I could help you guys, and I would like to see your supports for me. I hope you subscribe my channel if you like it. And that's all I wanted to say. Take care of yourselves. See you in the better days. Goodbye.